My name is Frederick Heder, and I got the nervous system. So, what is the nervous system? The nervous system is a network of cells that transmit nerve impulses between different parts of the body. The main functions of the body system include that it sends information throughout the entire body, and it receives information about internal and external changes of the body from various sense organs. The main organs of this system and the function include the sense organs, and these control and coordinate the body's functions. These include eyes, ears, tongue, skin, and nose. Then there's the central nervous system, which sends signals around the body. It lets people respond to what they are surrounded by, so what they see, smell, taste, etc. Then there's the peripheral nervous system, which receives messages, interpreting them and sending them out. Then neurons. Neurons sort out and convey chemical or electrical signals for the chemical nervous system. And then, of course, the brain. It exerts centralized controls over the organs of the body. So the way the system works with other systems would include... Are you fucking with me? Would include in the skeletal system, well, of course, the skull protects the brain from any injury, and the vertebrae protects the spinal cord from any injury. And the cardiovascular system would work with the nervous system in that the brain regulates the heart rate and blood pressure in our bodies. The nervous system works with the muscular system in that the brain controls the contraction of skeletal muscles. Then the nervous system also interacts with the endocrine system in that hormones provide feedback to the brain to affect neural processing. So the way that the nervous system affects the lymphatic system is that the nervous system, or the brain, can stimulate defense mechanisms against infection. The way the nervous system affects the respiratory system, of course, be that the brain regulates respiratory rate. Digestive systems affect by the nervous system would be the brain controls muscles for eating and elimination. The way the brain or the nervous system controls the reproductive system is that the brain controls mating behavior, and the way the nervous system affects the urinary system, the brain controls urination. So it runs it. And the way that the nervous system affects the integumentary system is that receptors in the skin send sensory information to the brain. So 2 disorders that can affect the nervous system include Alzheimer's, and this disease attacks the brain cells and neurotransmitters, affecting the way your brain functions, your memory, and the way you behave. The other disease or disorder would be Parkinson's disease, and it is a disorder of the nervous system. It results from damage to the nerve cells in a region of the brain that produces dopamine, a chemical that is vital for smooth control of muscles and movement. So there's 2 parts of the nervous system. The first being the central, and this is simply made up of the brain and spinal cord. And then there's a peripheral, which is outside of the brain and spinal cord, and these are composed of nerves and ganglia. These branch outside of the nerves, and the main function is to transmit the nerve impulses to and from the central nervous system. The central would act in the situation of a tree like the trunk, and the peripheral would be the branches. The way that a nerve impulse travels from stimulus to response, both within a neuron and between neurons, is environmental messages are received, transmitted, and interpreted by the functional unit of the nervous system, which would be the neuron. Appropriate responses are carried out by the effectors. And when a nerve impulse reaches the end of an axon, which would be the end of a neuron, there's a bigger part and a smaller part, and they're connected. So once it reaches the end part, the axon is what it's called, releases chemicals called neurotransmitters, and these neurotransmitters travel across the synapse between the axon and the dendrite, which would be the bigger part of the next neuron. The binding allows for nerve impulses to travel through the receiving neuron. So the types of sensory receptors in this nervous system would include the light receptors, so this will be outside the retina of the eye, sound receptors in the ear, position receptors also in the ear, chemical receptors in the nose and tongue. Also, there's secreting cells in the glands, of course muscle cells, and lastly, different internal organs. So that concludes my nervous system talk. Thank you for listening.